Gameranx presents 10 Avengers that need their own game. There's a lot of Marvel heroes out there, and there's a lot of Marvel hero games. You're gonna see some familiar and non-familiar faces on this list, including some heroes that may already have a game that might not be that good. With that being said, let's get started with number 10. Hot off the heels of the successful Marvel movie, AntMan needs his own game. Just think about how cool it would be playing as Professor Hank Pym in maybe something like a third-person action game where you gotta use your size abilities to solve puzzles and accomplish tasks. Picture it almost like a stealth game combined with ability puzzles like Portal. So while sneaking around and avoiding enemies, you also have to use your ability to change into different sizes to solve different problems and get to where you need to go. It could be really, really cool, and the possibilities are endless. But think of how technically advanced that game's gonna have to be to render a full-size environment and then a super tiny microscopic size environment. That's a lot of detail, but it would be so cool to be Ant-Man. And it would get bonus points for drop-in co-op where the other player plays as the Wasp, because Ant-Man and Wasp are an awesome team, and the founding members of the Avengers. At number 9, we have Hawkeye, good old Clint Barton. Now, Hawkeye, of course, some people like to say he's one of the more boring Marvel characters, but if game developers could come up with some clever mechanic that explains and makes fun just how great he pulls off those awesome shots, maybe we could have a pretty cool game on our hands. Running around as Hawkeye doing special missions for S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that could be a blast. And whoever would make a Hawkeye game would be wise to take on the newer run of Hawkeye's style when he was redesigned in 2012. Because the style, flair, and sense of humor is there, and it really makes Hawkeye an engaging character, and he could be a lot of fun to play as. Alright, at number 8, Black Widow needs a game. She doesn't get enough attention, as many of you probably know, but just think about how cool her game could be. Natasha Romanoff would fit in perfectly in a Splinter Cell / Hitman style game. It would be absolutely perfect. Just imagine creeping around as Black Widow in the same style as a Splinter Cell game, but also walking around and hiding in plain sight and assassinating, just like Agent 47 in a Hitman game. If there were a Black Widow game, it shouldn't beat around the bush that she is a trained assassin and she is not to be fucked with. She can kill people with her legs, and that should be an ability you can do anytime in the game. There's a lot of mystery, intrigue, and betrayal to Black Widow's stories, and I think story-wise they'd lend themselves to a great game as well. It'd almost be like a Mission Impossible game we never had, except for that Nintendo 64 one. That was pretty good. At number 7, let's give Captain Marvel a game. More specifically, Carol Danvers, also known as Miss Marvel, taking up the mantle. Captain Marvel would be an interesting game because 1, we get to explore a little bit of space and have a bigger world built, and 2, she can fly. It's always a good game when someone can fly. A Captain Marvel game could almost be like the Superman game we never had. If you need to know just how cool she is, check out Avengers Assemble. At number 6, let's give Iron Fist his own game. He lends himself perfectly to a game thanks to his kung fu martial arts skills. Imagine a cooperative brawler where you run around all different environments and beat up goons. It would be even more awesome if you got to team up with Luke Cage and take on crime together. That would be a hell of a co-op brawler. And if you made it like Bad Dudes or Streets of Rage as a throwback, that would be even cooler. At number 5, we put Thor on this list because, damn it, he needs another shot at a good game. His last game was a game based on his movie, and it wasn't so hot, but there's a lot of potential because Thor is powerful and awesome. Imagine a really intense, over-the-top God of War style game, except you're Thor taking on the enemies of Asgard and the 9 realms. Planetary exploration would be cool, or at least exploring the outer wilderness of Asgard. It could almost be Metroidvania style, in which you have to unlock new powers and abilities to get you to different planets. Who doesn't want to play a Thor game where you swing around that hammer and shoot lightning at people? I just picture a game where you play as Thor taking on massive giants, and it would be so intense. God, I want that game right now. At number 4, we gotta give Black Panther a shot. Yes, Marvel's own version of Batman is a ruler of a country, a super genius, and of course, a terrifying ass kicker. Now, it's pretty easy to say, oh, give Black Panther an Arkham-style game, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Imagine raiding Hydra buildings as Black Panther, sneaking in, taking enemies out one by one, and then getting into all-out brawls using his gadgets, claws, and awesome skills. It'd be a really cool game. T'Challa's a great character, and he comes from a really interesting place of fictional Wakanda, so there's a lot of world building and a lot of story you can have there. And also, if we put Black Panther in a game, please give him the cape, because he looks coolest when he has a cape on. At number 3, we have the Incredible Hulk. Now listen, including Hulk Ultimate Destruction and even the Incredible Hulk game, the Hulk really lends himself to open world city destruction, and we need more of that. And it would also be a lot of fun to give the Hulk just a bunch of monsters to fight in a city, almost like Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. If that doesn't sound like a fun game, I don't know what is. And then on the other hand, you could base it on Planet Hulk and make it take place in space and make it even more ridiculous and unique. The Hulk is one of the most classic and beloved Marvel characters, and there's a lot of potential here. It would be really interesting to play an Oculus Rift game where you don't actually play, but you just watch the Hulk fuck shit up. Because you're Dr. Banner, and ultimately you can't even control your own rage. I mean, yeah, sure, that doesn't sound like it's too fun to play, but that's just an interesting idea. At number 2, we're getting down to the guys you know and love, Iron Man. Let's give this guy another shot at a game, because his movie-based games were pretty mediocre. I think video games need to embrace the fact that Iron Man is ultra fast and insanely powerful. The fact that he can fly through a city at Mach speed is something that game designers should take advantage of and make an absolutely exhilarating type of thing to play. Because yeah, we've had the Iron Man games where he gets to fly around and shoot jets and tanks and stuff, but it never really captures that incredible sense of speed that Iron Man can actually reach, and the sense of weight that his suit brings to punches and landings. The coolest part, imagine there was like a hub world that was Tony Stark's workshop where you got to upgrade and tweak your suit to your heart's content, giving the suit little visual tweaks, plus armor and weapon upgrades to whatever you want to fit your playstyle. Oh my god, that would be so much fun. And at number 1, I will be completely honest with you, this is completely biased, but I put Captain America. Captain America, for those of you that don't know, is my favorite hero. And his last game that released, Captain America Super Soldier, based on the movie Captain America the First Avenger, wasn't so bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful either. And it seemed like it was starting to head in the right direction, giving Captain America a little open world to explore that was kind of like Arkham Asylum, in which you had to get abilities and unlock areas and fight enemies with that classic Batman ass-kicking style, except this time with a shield. I want more of that. Should we get more of that? But ultimately, I think there's a lot more they could do with Captain America as a character, seeing as how he is really smart, and he does figure things out, and he is a leader. It would be really cool to command other heroes or troops and do missions together, and it would be really cool to see a video game that embraces that sense of momentum, and capitalize on the fact that one of Cap's nicknames is a wrecking ball, because he is an absolute non-stop force that can tumble, flip, jump, and slam through anything. One of the perfect examples is the scene in the Winter Soldier movie where he chases after the Winter Soldier, running through hallways, busting through walls. It would be really cool to play a game that really captures that, where you gotta try and go and make perfect runs parkouring, jumping, flipping, and smashing through shit. That would be so much fun, but of course, I'm just a Captain America fanboy. Of course, also number 1, we could just say that we want an Avengers game, because we haven't gotten a real one in a while, and it will be really good. The last one was canceled, and it was a first-person brawler, and it looked kind of promising. But ultimately, this list could be a lot longer than it really is. So guys, let us know what Marvel heroes and Avengers characters you want to get their own video game. Of course, we couldn't include them all, and there are a lot of other heroes, so let us know your favorites and what their game should be like down below. And if you had a good time with this video, maybe click the like button, because it helps us out. And if you want to talk superheroes and video games with me, follow me on Twitter at Jake Baldino. Subscribing is the best thing you can do if you're new, because we do videos every single day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.